If there's one thing that all of us can agree on, it's that Geometry Dash is super hard. No, I mean super hard. There are levels that require you to click so precisely that it isn't even a joke. You only have milliseconds to react. Now imagine having 200 or more of those spread throughout an entire 1 to 3 minute long map or level. So that begs the question, is Geometry Dash really the hardest game that you can purchase on any app store? Well, let's take a look. Most players in the game have completed at least one demon, and lots have completed 2 or 3. Most of these are easy demons that anyone can beat with a bit of practice. However, when you look at levels on the demon list, it makes these levels look like a microscopic organism compared to the giants of the top 150 levels in the game. Keep in mind, these are only levels that have been beaten legitimately, and does not account for impossible levels. Now, any new player might stumble upon these levels thinking that it's a simple level that can get beat in a few attempts, but as soon as they click play, they're almost immediately humbled. It's safe to say that a level like Tidal Wave is certainly harder than most maps out there in other games, but as I said earlier, this is only the hardest beaten levels in the game, and that are over 45 seconds long, and this does not account for other levels such as Silent Circles or Cycloclick or any other levels on the impossible levels list. God, that shit fell off. Have you ever heard of the impossible levels list? Yeah, well, they completely vanished, but the challenge level list still exists, and has levels that were beaten 100% legitimately. Although, you can argue that the third variant was hacked, but there are still levels like VSC or Final Fantasy. Most of these levels are around 18 to 29 seconds long, but it can still take players hundreds of thousands of attempts to get good progress on them. Now back to the subject of impossible levels, most of these are only possible when you set your game to a certain frame rate. And I'm talking about a frame rate that no computers can handle, like I'm talking thousands of frames per second. Maybe in the future when computers can handle insane frame rates, may these levels become even slightly possible. And that's only if the demon list will accept your completion, because you know how much of a bitch they are if you have the slightest detail estimate saying like, oh, that pixel located exactly 88 pixels tall and 1088 pixels wide is not the same? Well, I guess we can't accept your record then. Okay, that was a bit exaggerated, but you get the point. Now, I'll be brief, but if you don't already know, there's a cool section in the game called the Create tab, which allows you to create any level your mind can think of. Do you want to make a level that requires you to spam 30 clicks per second? Well, then you can make that. But there are certain levels that are literally impossible to pass, like no matter which frame rate you set your game to, it will never, ever pass. And that is the legendary Sakupin Wall, what the f*** do you even call it? This cube can only jump a little bit under 2 blocks high without using certain mechanisms. And there's only 2 ways you could beat this, and that is using no-clip or auto-verification, which can be found in Mega Hack V7. I think you can also find it in V5 if you want to be a little bit more cheap, or really any Mega Hack ripoff. Yes, even if you find that shit on Wish. Well, to answer your question, I think that it is the hardest game. However, any platformer game that has the ability to create maps can easily be tied with the #1 spot. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed me rambling about this bullshit for like 3 to 6 minutes. Anyways, I'm done. Subscribe so I can reach 1,000 by the fall.